Conquest is the vehicle that drives colonization. It has been the modus operandi for 17 centuries. It has infiltrated all areas of our lives. The tendency to overthrow runs deep. The goal of much of our activism has been to topple one system and replace it with another. This practice perpetuates the cycle of domination and does nothing to help us achieve our broader goal of creating unity within our movements. One of the characteristics of conquest is domination. The dominator mindset is linear and based on hierarchies of power. One of the dangers of the dominator mindset is that it tends to gain its power by disempowering others. The oppressor takes power from the oppressed. In turn, the oppressed oppress others to try to reclaim some of their power. When we fail to recognize our place within these cycles, we are unable to see the way that they are impacting our lives and the way that we do our work in the world. People speak a great deal about wanting unity, but unity requires us to meet one another with openness and a willingness to understand one another and ensure one another's well-being. When we are operating under the conquest mindset, even our attempts at unity can be forged in notions of domination. When we're operating under the domination model, our claims of unity tend to be more about wanting others to fall in line with our way of thinking. This is a position of domination. The structure that guides conquest requires a hierarchy of power. In order for us to feel successful within this structure, we have to elevate ourselves over some other. There are countless examples of this at play within our society. Our political system is a veritable breeding ground for these types of power plays. One party believes that they have a position that is morally superior to another, so they try to remove that party from office and replace them with their own morally superior party. Of course, this does nothing to further democracy. It simply reinforces the domination model. Rather than evolving toward a meaningful balance and trying to find common ground, our political parties have become more entrenched and more intent on defeating one another, despite what this battle does to the country or its citizens. This ongoing battle within our government feeds the division within our society, which makes people less likely to focus on the real issues at stake by keeping them focused only on ensuring that their side wins. This allows the domination model to thrive and helps the patriarchy maintain its hold on the people. There is no way to balance the domination model. It is designed to breed imbalance, inequity, and injustice. One of the ways that this imbalance is achieved is by manipulating the flow of information. The flow of information within dominator societies is controlled by those who hold power. They determine what will be heard, who will hear it, and when. When information travels up through the various lines of authority, those at the top are able to gather all of the information and see the larger picture. Then they are able to use that information to direct the movement of those beneath them. When they send information back down the line, the people receiving that information are given only enough to maintain the status quo and to maintain their respective position within the dominant hierarchy. Today, media manipulation plays a substantial role in the maintenance of patriarchal power. Once the media was a trusted source of information. Aside from a few government propagandists and shameless promoters, those reporting the news were generally trusted and largely reliable. Sadly, the days of trusted journalism are long gone. Now every bit of information released is met with a heavy dose of skepticism. This skepticism may seem like a barrier to manipulation, but the opposite is true. Instead, it is used to create doubt and fear and to keep people confused. The flow of information is so rapid and so easily controlled that it is fairly simple to keep people off balance and edgy, which makes them easier targets. We are assailed every day with incomplete stories, half-truths, and hyperbole. Sensationalist stories meant to grab the attention and elicit an emotional response. We are being herded at every turn so that media companies can meet their page view quotas and satisfy the impossible demands placed on them by detached owners and investors. The accuracy of the news is less important than the response that it gets. In this environment, journalistic integrity doesn't stand a chance. One of the late kings of misinformation, Andrew Breitbart, once said, "Feeding the media is like training a dog. You can't throw an entire steak at a dog and train it to sit. You have to give it little bits of steak over and over until it learns." So we have been trained by having tiny bits of information thrown at us again and again, making it easy for us to be moved from one place to another until we are exactly where those in power want us to be. The goal of information sharing is no longer to inform or educate, but to elevate one's position over another. It's become an exercise of conquest.